Hey guys, Phil here, Zone Master. This video is kind of part 2 in my ongoing series about the Quantic EMBA that I'm taking. I want to start talking now about the actual course. In the last video, if you haven't watched it, there'll be a link somewhere. You can see why I'm taking it and kind of what it is in general. But now let's start getting into the nitty-gritty of what this course actually is. So my cohort started officially on October 16th, 2023. And, because everybody in this course is so much of an overachiever, which is why I said last time my imposter syndrome is even greater than it ever was before. Because everybody's such an overachiever, of course the course opens a week early because these guys are chomping at the bit, Seems like everybody else who's in this course is, their hobby is analyzing customer reports or mastering a martial art while they learn how to, cook at Michelin star level or something like that. So, I'm just trying to figure out how to play the solo over the chords for ornithology. So we open a week early and we have this little thing which is called Business Foundations, and it's like a module that kind of gets everybody up to some kind of even level. And that's because you have to remember that this is an EMBA, and so a lot of people who are in this course, me accepted, have gone kind of maybe through a more traditional business journey, and so maybe they've only seen kind of one area of a business, or they haven't had a lot of exposure to different kinds of concepts within a business, like maybe they're in the accounting department, or maybe they're a CFO even, or whatever, but they haven't seen everything else. So we have this little Business Foundations thing, which covers a bunch of stuff. It covers entrepreneurship, and customer discovery specifically, how do businesses find customers and how do they evaluate how to find customers. It has a little thing about microeconomics, supply and demand. It has a little thing about finance, and that is, the time value of money. It has a little thing about marketing, which is great. I'm hoping we're going to delve more into marketing because that's one of my areas that I'm weak in. But marketing and the fundamentals and the process of designing and creating a marketing strategy. And then there's an accounting kind of 101 to talk about debits and credits, because accounting is this science that's been developed to completely confuse human beings, and so the concept of what a debit is and what a credit is completely bass-backwards. So that's kind of what the Business Foundations thing is. Totally real world stuff. I love the way Quantic works. Everything seems to be completely applicable to what I see in my day-to-day. But the other point inside of Business Foundations, and for me really was the highlight, is the module that is called Cultural Intelligence. This is something I talked about in the last video. I think I said it floats my boat. I'm going to stick with that analogy. I love this idea of global commerce, global businesses, developing products with and for other cultures other than your own. It's very a complex thing, and you have to really be aware, and that's what the little module of Cultural Intelligence dealt with. Also, Quantic, as I said before, is such a global school. Students are from all over the world, so we're going to have to deal with other people in our cohort, and those other people are most likely going to come from a culture that's different than ours. So how do we deal, with the slight differences in how cultures deal with things like approaching a project or approaching a business and everything like that. So really important stuff. Cultural intelligence is something I really wish I could do a master's just in that. Maybe you can somehow. If you know how to do that, send me a message. So we even talk about Hofstede, which is this German guy who has this concept, a theory, whatever, that basically you don't change. You can leave your own country, but you are who you are based on the culture you were raised in. So that's what we do. we do that business foundations. That is open the week before we start, and then you can finish it off in that first week of classes. And every module that I talked about there, entrepreneurship, microeconomics, etc., every module ends with something called a smart case. And a smart case is really just a test. I guess you couldn't copyright the word or trademark the word test, so you have to trademark the word smart case. And a smart case is just a way of evaluating whether you understand the concepts covered, i.e. it's a test. And it's really handy. One thing to be aware of if you're going into the Quantic MBA or EMBA is that you have one shot at a smart case. You take it, and that is your score that's recorded. You can take the thing over and over again, and the smart cases are a great way to do review for exams of a whole concentration, but your first score is the one that gets stuck. And smart cases do count towards your final exam, your final marks. They only count for 10%, so I mean, do brilliantly or do crappy, it's not going to really change a huge amount, but smart cases are the best way to review in my experience, which is, not that much because I'm only 5 weeks in. Don't tell anybody. So that's my roundup of kind of the first part, business foundations. I'm still totally bullish on doing the Quantic EMBA. I think it's a really interesting thing. I'm seeing, a lot of information and exposure to a lot of people and ideas already that I would never have normally had exposure to. So it's really, really something that I'm looking forward to completing over the next 14 months. So like, subscribe, bell notification if you want to learn more about the EMBA, if you want to follow along with me on my journey. My videos are not a substitute for taking the Quantic course, but they might give you some insights if you want to do it, and maybe you'll glean something. Who knows, maybe I'll spill some beans here and there about the kind of actual details that I'm learning. Videos coming up, of course, going on through the journey module by module, and I'm hoping to have some interviews. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some interviews with some fellow classmates, and we're going to talk about how they came to Quantic, what they're doing with it, what they think they're going to do with it. I'm really hoping that we're going to have a little video interview with the people who I'm doing my accounting project with, and maybe we'll even manage to rope in some people from Quantic itself and come on and talk. Who knows? But in the meantime, you're going to be stuck with me. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. All the best.